Just want to test audio. Can people hear me? Can you say something back to me? Okay,
I can
great.
hear you.
Great.
I'm going to be on
Thank you.
mute because there's a lot of noise in the background for me.
Sounds good. All right. Chat box it. Does that have input as well?
Yes, it does. Just, if you wanna you have something to present there?
Yes.
You wanna just sit in the chair and you can just present right in your lap if you want. And you can sit up there in front of them, on the other side if you want. You sit right here.
It's kind of okay back here.
Okay. That's all right. That's all
I
right.
have to be prominent.
That's okay, if you're okay.
Although it is weird seeing myself back. That's strange. Okay, quick sound test. Can you all on Zoom, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
A few more people are joining, so let's just give it another second or so.
You have like a agenda or something.
And so, and the problem is once I share this, I can't admit people anymore.
Oh, but you're gonna be sharing for the screen.
Well, that's what I was gonna
That's
do,
cool.
but then I
That's-
just admit.
No. Oh, I see. Do you want me to admit?
So do you want to share? Well, no.
Yeah, I can share it.
You admit.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
share.
yeah.
Let's do that. Oh, wait. That's gonna mean you have to admit
Can you
too,
share it with me and I'll. Well,
because as soon as I make you host. Sucks, I hate Zoom sometimes. That's all right, let me just try this. Well, I'll just type
as long as you share your screen, I can put it up here. That's really all we need, just for the people that are here.
Yeah. All right, let me do this.
Four is better than one. It's okay, right? Yeah. All right, this works.
This mess now, though. Let's see if we got most people in. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Make you front and center.
Thanks a lot. That should have been up the whole time. I'm just like,
All right.
the red jacket will follow everybody sees. That's very true. That's good, it takes all the attention off me. I'm a little bit of a wuss when it comes to temperature. And I'm about 20 degrees different than everybody else in the universe. I was just saying, I'm the same, but on the other side. I'm always.
You're colder.
I'm cold, so I went out and got my jacket. I only felt the temperature in here, so there's no way I'm sitting here for an hour. Oh my goodness. Careful of all the other people, because You and I are the other ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, we're exact opposite. I'm about 20 degrees hotter than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Is it being held here? Sure. I think the other.
Oh, yeah, we do have one more in the waiting room.
Is that the junior designer? Come join us. All right, thank you.
Is that a fake, the birthday party?
Yeah, should I open this in front of you or? Oh, it's from operation.
Hey.
Hey.
Nice.
We wish we could stay. It's.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, see you.
See you at virtual.
What's this?
Andrew, do you wanna? Okay. Head home, you got kids.
Gravy? Wow, that's great for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. You think we're good?
All right.
Sorry, I was talking.
Here for this? Yeah. No.
Okay, I think we'll get started.
Okay, see you.
Let's just begin with a quick opening prayer. Rick, would you mind saying that today? Or if we're maybe
Is
Rick
he on
stepped
mute?
away.
Yeah, he stepped away.
Okay. I can't see. I have to keep bouncing back. It's no fun. Can we just let's see. Lauren, how about you? Would you mind saying the opening prayer?
Oh, he's
Sorry, I was in a meeting with other people. So give me just a sec.
If you can see, Kimball, just grab someone who's on.
Ready?
yeah.
Our Father in heaven, we come before thee in gratitude this day for the opportunity to meet as a family organization. We're thankful for our ancestors and for those relatives we have that help us so much and then help care for each other as we progress through life. We ask God's blessing and the Spirit will be with those in this meeting today and also those who want to get involved and be connected to their family that they might find this organization. Bless those that are directing the meeting today, that they will be inspired and what to cover and to talk about. And these things we pray for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks so much. Well, welcome everybody. I'm glad we have a lot of people on Zoom. That makes me happy. I know that I wasn't nearly as what's the word I'm looking for? Proactive this time around in calling people and making sure that proxies are going to be here. So I'm glad to see a pretty big list of people. Since I'm sharing from this laptop, I'm just gonna have to bounce around a little bit. So bear with me while I check and make sure we don't have anyone else in the waiting room. We don't, so we're good. And I'm glad that we get a chance to talk about some really fun stuff today. We have some new things to discuss, some new projects on the horizon. I don't see Charles Clark online, but we'll talk a little bit about an upcoming possible tour. So a lot of really good things to discuss. So from that kick off, let's go ahead and just hop into who's on the line. So we'll go around and just check family line by family line, and then we'll give everybody else an opportunity who's joining just to watch a chance to tell us who you are and what family line you're from, and that'll help us see how many lines we have represented today. So as you introduce yourself, if you know of any big news from your family line, any notable deaths or family reunions of your line coming up, big achievements, that'd be lovely to share as well. So we'll just kind of go line by line. So out of curiosity, is anyone on the line from Timothy Baldwin? I didn't think so. Okay, how about Mary Elizabeth? No. The Joseph Smith line. Okay. How about Hiram Don Carlos? Mark, are you on the line?
I'm on the line too. I'm Hiram Don Carlos.
Oh, okay.
A few. You're hand back on this, right?
You are too? Okay. We can use one of you as the proxy then. So Hiram Don Carlos, let's say hello. Tell us who you are. So Alicia, you want to kick us off?
Yes, I'm Alicia Clark, secretary. I'm doing this remotely today, but I will also be sending out a recording of this meeting too, which I'm going to take notes from.
Thanks. Any news from your line that you know of?
Luckily, knock on wood, nobody's died in the last 2 months.
Okay.
As far as I know, there's no exciting news yet, or any deaths at this moment.
Notable birth. There's gotta be notable birth. All right.
There's too many descendants to know all the births.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us from Idaho. Appreciate that. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Carol Nielsen. What do you want to know?
Anything notable from your line?
No?
All right. Great. We got busy 6 months. We'll cover all of these lines. This is great. All right. How about the Edward Barrett? Brian, are you on?
Yep, I'm up here. Um, so Brian Clark, I'm descendant of Edward Barrett and Orson R. Clark and Ralph Clark. I'm the fourth down, I guess, for Edward Barrett.
Excellent. Anything happening on the Edward Barrett line of note?
No, we did have Kent Gray, who married a Bentley cousin, pass away just a few months ago. So that's about it.
Okay. What was that name again? Who passed away?
Kent Gray.
Great.
Yeah, he married Kathy Bentley.
Okay. Great, thank you. Anyone else on the line just listening in today from Edward Barrett? Okay. All right, let's go to our Charles Rich line, which we know we have at least 10 of you on the call. So Kimball, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, we've got Thomas, my son here, and Andrew, he's also from Charles Rich. And Stuart, of course, and Lauren are from Charles Rich, and David is from Charles Rich. And let's see if I'm missing anybody else.
Max.
Oh, Alexander, yes, the youngest.
We start them young.
Yes, we start them young. So that's good that they're here. So no, in regard to the Charles Rich Clark family, we had, and if Wendy will probably hop on here in a little bit and correct me, but Beverly Johnson passed away. She was an older descendant of Charles Rich Clark, and she was in the Mormon Tabernacle Choir for quite a while. So we were able to record her, and
Okay.
I think there was one other. Yes, there was one other that passed away, and I can't remember the name right now. I'll remember it later and share it. So yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, and Andrew, you found a connection.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
my friend who lives in Morgan, Utah, notified me that the Clark family is still alive and kicking there. And they have a dairy that's they have their farm that's been there for over 150 years. It's still churning out milk for the last 100 years. And they are descendants of Charles Rich and Tim will help me out. Just drew a blank.
Charles Rich and Annie Waldron.
Annie Waldron.
The second wife of Charles Rich.
Yeah, so they were based in Morgan. They're still there. They have the Clark Family Dairy,
Wow.
which is 100 years old dairy. So we really want to get one of that line involved. We do have Wendy that's involved. Wendy Wonderly is from that line, but we'd like to get more.
What line is it again?
It's the Charles Rich and his second wife's
Okay,
line.
right, okay.
So we have lots from the first wife, like 10 of us here, but we don't have any from the other one.
That's awesome. And maybe can hook us up with ice cream.
Yes. Yes. And now we're thinking.
Since we know that ice cream is a major part of all Clark events.
It is.
Anyone else from Charles Rich on the line that Kimball missed introducing? Okay. Wilford Woodruff line, Jay Clark, are you on?
If Jay's not on, April Clark Clive will be joining us here shortly. She just got the link. And she is from the Wilford Woodruff Clark line.
Okay, I think, Linda, are you from that line as well? I know Linda Clark is on, Linda Clark Gilmore is on. And I.
Oh, there's April Clark Clive. She just hopped on.
Okay. Okay. Right, well, let's see, so that was the Wilford Woodruff line. So April, if you can get your audio to work, we'd love to say hi to you. We know you're from that line.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey,
Oh, good. Oh, good. Then it's on. Sorry, I just got back from swimming laps, but anyway, it's nice to see a group that has to do with Ezra T. Clark and especially Wilford, but I'm sure that there aren't very many other Wilford representatives, right?
Well,
Not many, no.
you're the only one.
Well, I talked to my brother last night, but he was not able to chat with me because he was at one of his grandkids' football games. So I just thought, well, for next time, I'll try to get him to join. He's in Utah, so that would be more convenient, probably. I'm out of here in Philly.
I was just looking at my notes and Linda Clark, we missed you. You're from Edward Barrett. Do you want to say hi to everyone? I don't know if audio is working for you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
yes,
there we go. Yeah.
Okay, my phone audio is working. Yes, I'm from Edward Barrett, and my father, well, let's see, it goes Edward Barrett, then Rulon W. Clark, and then Calvin Edward Clark. And the most exciting thing happening for us is I'm doing Rulon and Calvin's missionary journals using Kindex software. So that's been really fun.
Yeah,
all right.
excellent.
Very cool.
That's awesome. That's
Actually
cool.
got Linda on the agenda to talk a little bit about Kindex and some of the interesting things she's finding in those journals. So we'll throw the ball to you a little bit later as well.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, how about Amasa Lyman? Peter Clark, are you on?
Oh,
Didn't see him. Anyone else from the Amasa Lyman line? Okay. How about the Annie Vitale line? Dallin, are you on? Nope. Anyone else from that line? Okay. We have the open one from Sarah Levina. I know that I don't think we have anyone on for that, but Rick, you are from that line, so why don't you hop in and say hello to everyone?
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Anything new from your line, Rick?
No,
All right.
no, I don't have anything.
How about the Susan Alice line? Stephen Steed. I didn't see him either. Anyone else from that line? Okay. Eugene Henry. That's Ellen. Our rep is Ellen Slade. Oh, whoa. I don't know what just happened there. Anyone else from that line?
So I'm Ellen Slade, but I'm actually a rep for Nathan George Clark.
Oh, Nathan George. I got that wrong. Okay.
And we don't have any news. No news from us.
Thanks, Ellen. Sorry about that. I'll fix that on our records. And then Laura Blanche line. That would be Claudia Cannon if she's on. No? Okay. And then the baby, Horace Wells. Cheryl, you want to say hi?
Yes, I'm the representative for Horace Wells. I'm Cheryl White. I don't know of any deaths that have occurred, but the youngest of Horace Wells, Lyman Clark, there is a big family reunion being planned next summer.
Ooh, cool.
Great.
It's great.
Where will that be located?
I'm in St. George.
Okay.
But the reunion will be in Bear Lake. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. Yeah.
Oops.
So we'll get some good footage from that. That, by the way, Cheryl's my mom. Hi, Mom.
Okay.
Hi, honey.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, so anyone else on the line that we didn't get a chance to say hi to, let's just have you pop in and say hi. Stuart, our treasurer, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello.
Any news from your world? We'll have you do the financial report in a minute, but any other news?
No, I'll share on the financial report.
Sounds good. Let's see. Dave, you want to say hi to everyone? We miss you. I miss
Hi,
you.
it's good to see you. It's good to be here.
We miss you. We all miss you.
Yes.
We do.
Dave.
We do. Brian, you might have popped in late. Did we say hi to you already?
Wayne Clark?
Yeah, we did. Okay. And then who's this iPhone 3? Is that Ellen? I think that was Ellen.
That was the voice for someone else who couldn't connect on there. She just
Right, I think that was Ellen's line. Okay. Lauren, you want to say hi to everyone?
Sure. Hello. I'm at work, so sorry I'm just a little busy here. So thanks for doing this.
Right at work. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
All right. And then it looks like Wendy. Did you join us, Wendy Wonderly?
Hi, my mom and I say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Good to see you both. Any news from your world? I know you're always piped into everything going on in the family. What have you got?
Yeah, Wendy, you want to tell us about some of we had someone pass away that you knew that lived near you that was a Charles Rich Clark descendant. Do you remember the name?
Oh, what's his name? John Kuntz.
There we go.
He's the son of Marie Clark Kuntz, who is a daughter of Charles Rich Clark. Yeah, John Kuntz passed away. He was in his 90s, and it said in his obituary that he worked in the Bountiful Temple, and the month before he died, he was still going and working in the temple. And he was the last one of Marie's children to pass away.
Oh, all right.
I want to just make a quick clarification. I think I said that Beverly Johnson was from the Charles Rich Clark. She's actually from the Wilford Woodruff line.
Okay.
So just to clarify, sorry.
Thank you. Okay. David, you have your hand up. Do you have something to share?
Yeah, a question for Nadia. I don't know if you said this. How old was John?
How old was John?
How old was John? I don't remember. I would have to Google it.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Also, as I remember, you're descended from the first wife of Charles Rich.
Yes, yes.
Just to clarify, because the comment was made earlier, the other direction.
Great. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
And then we have a line on just labeled owner. Did we say hello to you? Do we know who you are?
I didn't catch that.
We didn't catch that.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
That was April, I believe. Clive.
April? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
April is
oh,
owner.
I'm sorry. I was
Yeah,
gonna
you're
have my my son help me put the real name there, but I haven't done
No
it.
worries. As long as we know who you are eventually, we're good to go.
And can I say one more thing? So last month, no, not, it was in late July, my uncle Stan passed away. He is the youngest of Leora's children from Wilford. So Wilford Woodruff Clark descendant named Stan Larson. He was actually about 88 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we were able to record him too before he passed.
Hey.
Yes. Thank you, Kimball. That was a good move.
Yeah.
That's a nice plug for all family representatives. If you know of members that are in the later years that we need to get, personal biographies and testimonies recorded, let's try and do that as much as possible. It's always great to have those records. All right, with that, let's head over to our agenda for today. We'll give a couple minutes to Alicia, just if there's any outstanding things going on the last minutes. And then we'll hop into taking a look at some of these other items on the agenda with the financial review, and we'll get into some of these line items. So Alicia, anything from past minutes that we need to cover?
No, they're all closed. The last time it was the reunion we were talking about, and as well as appointing Charles as the family historian. So those should be good to go. I don't think we have any pressing open matters.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's a good lead into the financial review, and then we'll talk about that wonderful reunion that we had. So, Stuart, I'm going to kick it over to you. We've got the visual up on the screen.
Great. So we did have the last 6 months were good. We had several donations. I don't have an exact number on the number of individuals, but I believe it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 19 to 24 donations. We did sell our remaining Timothy Baldwin Clark books. So those are now sold out. The money coming in from donations, we had at least $1,512 coming in from individual donations, and then $340 from the Timothy Baldwin Clark books being sold. We sold a number of the gold Clark Descendants books, and I believe we still have somewhere in the neighborhood 120 of those left. I think we cleared about $285 in sales on those. We did have some interest, roughly $24, and included in the donations there was some money that came in through Venmo, which was already accounted for. As far as money going out, we did have our reunion expenses, and the only receipts I got was for the food. So our food purchases were $359.72. We talked about this last time, but if you weren't present last time, we did pay 6 months ago a number of our long-term expenses, a lot of our technological expenses. We paid for our domain registrations for the next 10 years, 3 years worth of hosting, and some Zoom expenses. So we were able to get a lot of long-term expenses taken care of. And our current balance is up from April. We're to $8,575.48. The majority of that is in a money market account. We have $915 in savings, $563 in checking, and currently we do not have any CDs open, but that is something that we could discuss. We'd like to put some of that money into some higher yield accounts or not. So once again, that total balance is $8,575.48.
Great, thank you. I do know, we're looking at those green books. We do know we have several of those left, and they're kind of spread out all over the place. I was laughing about it because I came across 3 or so books that were sitting in the trunk of my car that someone gave me at the last Roots Tech. And I was like, oh, I forgot those. We gotta add those to the group. So we have those kind of spread out. If you know of any, cash holds of these books, let us know so that we have a good understanding of where they all lie. All right.
Can I ask a quick question on the finances? Stuart, the expenses, are any of those not paid back to people?
We have some of the reunion food expenses. I've included them here as an expense, but they have not, there's about $200 that's not been reimbursed yet.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And I think that's because they were turned in like yesterday, right?
Yes.
So we didn't just
Yep,
sit on those since the
that's fine.
reunion, just so you know. All right.
Was the author of the Timothy Baldwin book, is he all squared away?
Yes.
Yes.
He's been paid as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was-
apologies for not getting I sent my receipt in June to the group text thread that Stuart wasn't on it. So
Oh.
that was they both came in there. So
Oh, sorry about that.
no, that's our fault.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the family reunion. Peter, I saw that you joined. Do you want to hop in and just we did a big debrief, and I know there's still a couple outstanding items from that debrief, but sorry, no problem. But do you just want to talk a little bit about the reunion and how everything went and some of the feedback we got? I didn't see him join, right? Pretty sure I saw him. Oh, he looks like oh no, he's there. Peter, are you on the line? Can you hear us?
Oh, good.
Ask him to unmute. Let's see if that does anything. No, he might have stepped away. We'll come back to that line item then. But for those of you that attended, does anyone have any feedback from the reunion? We can maybe just start with that.
What'd you think? I think it was warm. It was hot in the building. We could have improved that.
Yeah, in the church, it was very
In the
hot.
church, the
Yeah.
old church. I don't know why we didn't have AC controls, but we didn't.
We had a lot of new faces that we haven't seen for many, many years.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
very
really
happy to
good.
See that.
Yeah.
We had a lot of older people.
Yeah.
Very old. Like I think Richard Ellis was there. He was probably the oldest.
He's
And there was
almost
another
100.
older fellow in the back corner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But they were, almost 100, right? So that was kind of cool. We probably should have, I kind of wish we gave them more of the speaker, like they could more of the platform so they could speak about their descendancy and maybe their remembrances. If they're that old, they probably have some good history to share. Maybe we could have included them a little bit more in the program.
It's not a bad idea. We could build in some time for, we had a couple of people from like Texas and way out of state too, that might have been nice to just introduce themselves and things like that.
We had a great turnout at the tour, the walking tour.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. The police.
I enjoyed the tour, got to meet some new people,
Yeah.
and had some contact me later to follow up on some things we talked about. So.
And at the tour, I was manning the table, and there were at least 2 or 3 groups that came through that they were community people, not family people, which was really cool. That was nice to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so the thinking was, let's just kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because we get so many questions about the homes on Clark Lane. So I just put it on Facebook, and a lot of people turned out. I put it on Facebook the night before, and we got a lot of turnout.
Oh, we had to do that a little earlier. I think it was nice to see the community.
Entire groups that were not even descendants of Ezra T, learning a lot about how Ezra T managed the situation of 3 wives.
Yeah.
And all the homes and the properties. And they were just generally curious. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very cool. We definitely had some tech trouble. So
Yes.
that was something. But
The Wi-Fi is very weak in there, and I recommend we don't use that room again if we want to be dependent on Wi-Fi.
yeah, we need to think that through if there's going to be Wi-Fi dependent components. But yeah, it was as far as I could tell, it was really successful. I think our numbers were a little lower than the 200th birthday, but the 200th birthday we marketed really heavily.
Yeah.
So that makes a little bit of sense. Peter, are you on the line yet? Do you want to give your vantage point? It'd still be away. Okay. From the subcommittee perspective, we did meet I think it was the day after the reunion, might have been 1 or 2 days after, and we had a big debrief, talked about a lot of good things and new ideas for the upcoming reunions. So we'll continue those conversations. As a side note, I'd like us to get to a point where we're not doing the major part of the planning of the reunion the April before the reunion. I'd like to start that at least in the October prior to the reunion, but even better, a year in advance. That would be great. So with that said, by April of our next meeting in April, it'd be great if we could have some people who would, raise their hands and volunteer to be on that subcommittee or even head up the subcommittee. Keep in mind that for the subcommittees, they do not need to be family representatives. So if you, especially, let's get some younger people, some youth in, so your nieces, your nephews, your kids, your grandkids, think about trying to, put a bug in their ear now about how they can be involved in those reunions. The subcommittees can be anybody. We just need people who are willing to help put those together and brainstorm ideas. So start thinking about it now. In our next meeting, we'll start sourcing some of those names and try to get a head start on all of this. Any other final thoughts on the reunion from anyone else online?
Does someone have the notes?
Well, I just want to say,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just want to say I wasn't there, but when I read about it, I just thought it looked like a fabulous reunion because it covered a lot of things, including a temple session and the walking through the, down Clark Lane, which I've never done before and look forward to someday when I do. But it looked like it was a great reunion that covered a lot of variety of activities.
Yeah, that was nice. We did do a couple, the temple session the night before and then a hike early morning. So we tried to throw in lots of different elements that would get lots of people involved. And I think that was very successful. I know there weren't a ton of people on the hike, but the fact that we had it was kind of cool. So we'll keep throwing in those.
Yeah, I think we'll keep that in. We just wanted to get that in the mix.
Yeah.
We want to offer something for everyone.
Yeah.
So I want to take a minute before that opportunity goes by.
Yeah.
I want to second what Kelly just said. I don't think we should be dependent. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't think we should be dependent on Wi-Fi. I think we should record anything that we want to present if we don't have a live speaker, so we know what we have and how it will come across.
Yeah.
And I think that was, in hindsight, well, I think it was a mistake. I don't want to offend anybody, but if we'd had a recording, it would have been perfect.
Yep.
So,
Yep,
and
agreed.
possibly we could have edited for, there were times when he sort of lost his focus. We could have edited it for that.
Yeah, that's another really good point. When we did the virtual reunion in 2020 or 2021, whenever we did that, we pre-recorded those and it was so great to edit them. We knew exactly how much time people were going to take. We knew we were able to edit out any kind of like rambling or rebuild. That was really nice. So
Yeah, we had plenty of speakers. We could have saved it too for another reunion. So I was concerned when we first planned it, we didn't have anybody. And
Well,
turned out pretty good. It worked out really well.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Did we have that presentation? Can we post it?
We don't have it yet.
Okay, I'm excited to review it.
Yeah. For those of you that weren't there, we had 2 virtual speakers, right? I think we did. One of them, or maybe it was just one virtual speaker.
We just had one.
But the technology it was terrible. And on top of that, he on his end didn't manage the technology very well either. So we had some audio issues and so we eventually took him offline and said, let's just record you offline and we'll throw it on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. That hasn't happened yet, but that is still something that we'll do. We'll get that posted. We have had a lot of requests for it. It was an interesting topic, although I can't remember what it was.
Georgetown.
Yeah.
Georgetown.
Clark's
Yeah.
in Georgetown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had to make it a priority to get him get a recording of what he says because I was always curious about Georgetown. I think most of us are. So
Is Lauren still on the call?
Yeah,
he won't be
I'm
around
here.
too long.
What's the update on that, Lauren?
I can probably get it up today. It has like 3 or 4 video files and it says they're there, but I haven't been able to like get them. Does that make sense? But it says they did record on the Zoom server, so I'll work on getting them down.
Okay. We'll just put them on Facebook, right? I presume
Yep.
Alicia can do that.
Yeah, I'll get
Yeah.
on YouTube. I'll
So
send them
go
over to
through-
Alicia.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Um,
How old is the presenter who gave that? What's his name?
Glenn,
Glenn, yeah.
he's in his mid-80s, I believe.
Okay, he's not 90 yet.
Yeah,
He was mid-80s on the tour,
yeah,
which was 2022, so he's 4 years old.
probably nearly 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry, I'm texting
You
Alicia.
really
really
want to
fast.
hear from those folks who've got a lot of knowledge they've gleaned over the years and want to make sure they share it. Just kind of like Ralph did. Ralph gave us everything, compiled everything he had before he died, and it was great. And it really, it sparked me big time. Ralph did, and as well as my siblings, all his research that he did. We want to make sure nobody ever goes to the grave without disseminating all their knowledge.
Yeah.
We got Charles's book published, which is awesome. He's been working on that for 17 years. Yeah, there's others out there. We gotta make sure we get their stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you talk about Glenn's book project that he had thought of at one time?
Yeah, Glenn's still working on it. April probably can chime in about that. He's nearly done.
Yeah, I've been working on it with him since that bus tour.
Yep.
So we're hoping to get an ending. He's got a lot of good information in there.
And it sounds like we have some missionary journals. I know of Ralph Clark has a missionary journal, and we have some other people that are working on missionary journals, so that's kind of cool too. One other just feedback that I had about the reunion, if we could, when we have people pay money, donate, it was kind of a like, how many books you got? And they were throwing cash into the jar. You probably need to be a little bit less chaotic on that and actually have someone sit there and write who the person is, provide a receipt, an email for a receipt, how much they paid, etc. So it's kind of a haphazard kind of situation. So maybe we can be a little bit organized on that next time when there's donations and when there's purchases of books.
It's always very frustrating when people are throwing money at you.
Never had that experience.
So this is Linda too. I would like, is my sound working?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I think it would be great if we had were able to pay with Venmo. So I came with a younger sister and we both would have liked to pay. We just don't carry cash or checks with us. So just something to think about.
And Stuart, we've been working on that. What is our status on getting a Venmo?
I can get that done now. I've got a way around my issue I was having before, so we can complete that so that we have a dedicated Venmo for the Ezra D. Clark Family Organization.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Stuart.
80-year-olds asking for Venmo, so.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I want to pay it a different way. And I said, what, a check? And he said, no, Venmo. And I was like, oh, okay. Sorry. It was very unexpected.
Did they pay
Yeah.
with crypto? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we did. There's been a lack. There's lots of little things that go on behind the scenes that the average person doesn't know, but there's lots of little things with how much we can take in, how big is too big of a donation. Even with Venmo, there are certain like things that have to be set up as far as the tax, but so yeah, we're a little behind the times on that, but any organization typically is, so still light years ahead of most family organizations, so we should be proud. All right, I'll give Peter one more chance. Peter, are you online and back at your seat? Okay, well, just a kudos to Peter. He headed up that group, not by choice. We voluntold him and he did a great job. So really appreciative for all the work that he put into that. So with that, let's head over to Linda Clark, not Linda. Yes, Linda. I just for a
Okay.
second didn't know where we were in Canada. But Linda,
This
yeah.
is Linda Clark Gilmore, and I will either be in person next time or I will work through Zoom before I actually sign up in this way. But I have two projects that I'm doing. One is Rulon W. Clark's journal. He went to New Zealand. He was there during World War One, and he was also there when Matthew Calley was there. So there's some interesting historical things with his journal. And then my father, Calvin Edward Clark, he went to Argentina, and both of these missions, it was kind of interesting how much athletics was a part of their missions. So Rulon, he spent a lot of time at the Maori Agricultural College before it burned down. And a big part of his mission was coaching basketball games. And so I thought, what an amazing mission. And then when my dad went to Argentina, they asked him to actually participate in high jumping meets while he was there, and he ended up being able to jump in the first Pan American Games that were ever held. So that's kind of a fun bit of his history. One thing that I just need to put a kudos in for the Kindex software. I had been working on my grandfather's journal, and he really has nice script, but I hired a Salt Lake Community College student from Chile to help transcribe. And after a year of working with her on a fairly regular basis, we'd only gotten half of the pages transcribed. And when I came in with my father's journal, which is also 200 pages, in 4 hours, I was able to scan that and transcribe it. And now I just need to do the review work. So I've got a lot of things from families. I don't know why I inherited all this, but I now have a tool to use that will make it go faster. One of the tools that I need to use as I was thinking about what I might share today, my father, I guess with President Nelson dying, passing away, I started thinking about all the friendships that my grandfather Rulon and my father had with apostles or presidents of the church. And those relationships just seemed casual because they were friends. But when people pass away, including my ancestors, I realized, for example, when my father died in 2022, he was 92 years old, and he actually had quite a few people show up at the funeral. But what was a surprise was President Ballard showed up at his funeral and just walked up and sat on the up in the seats because he was the highest priesthood holder there. And he spoke at Dad's funeral for about 12 minutes. And that's something that with Kindex, that I haven't tried this yet, but I need to come in on a Tuesday and learn this. I want to take that audio and get it transcribed, or I don't know, even record the audio and somehow share it. But I think transcribing it would be really nice to add to his journal, and some other things that I'm doing for Dad. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm up to.
Question for you, Linda. Are you from Edward? You're from Edward Barrett, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to expand a little bit on the Edward Barrett line. Those of you who are from Edward Barrett, Jeannie Wetton is actually a descendant of Edward Barrett as well through the second wife. Help me, Alice Randall. Alice Randall. Okay, you're not from Alice Randall, correct? You're from the Richards, wealthy Richards.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alice Randall's descendant, which Glenn comes from, Jeannie Wetton also comes from Alice Randall. They have given us 36 tubs of records to scan, which we've been doing over the last 2 years. We're about ready to transcribe all of them before Christmas, and it's about 40,000 records from that line. And that's a significant number, and they're from the years 1900 until about 1990. All of the Clark history that you can think of that has to do with Colonia Juarez is in there. So
Fantastic.
it's going to be a treasure trove for the Edward Barrett line.
Yeah.
Fascinating family. If you've ever wondered how Richard Lambert is a relative, that's how there will be some history, let's put it that way, of Richard Lambert, who's also from Hiram Don Carlos, and how the Clarks moved to Mexico and why is all in a lot of that in the Wetton records. So that'll be really exciting to be able to put sort of a branch of the Clarks that we kind of didn't really know about, that were all down in Mexico. We're going to be able to add to the Georgetown and Farmington Clarks and Morgan Clarks.
Hmm.
It's going to be really exciting to add the Mexican component.
Yeah.
And that's
And
a
I-
significant records. So
I think it's really important too for us, you know, to hear their perspective of why they went to Mexico. And you know, my dad had different reasons why they went to Mexico, but as you talk to cousins, every family, the history goes down, but it morphs just a little bit. Maybe a different child had a different perspective. But they did end up in the colonias, and in Dublin, I think is one of them. And one of the kids of Alice was, I think, a superintendent of schools. And then when I served in the Relief Society in the Spanish branch in Delta for 4.5 years, I met some people who knew him. He was their superintendent when they went to school. So I think that's a history that, like you say, Kimball, really needs to be looked into because it's pretty rich.
yeah, it very, very much is.
Can you tell me the name of that superintendent? I'm curious to know because my great-grandfather was the principal. That was Guy C. Wilson. And so I have a lot of plural marriage in my background on my mom's side. And some of it connects with Clark's because I was just telling Kimball the other day, there's an Avery Clark that ended up down there. And there was a story to her too, but she knew a lot of the same people that are related to me on my mom's side. So
That's right.
interesting to see connections.
I'm going to have to look that up, and I'll try to have it by the time I come to another meeting, and it would be fun to make those connections.
Yep. And did you say Dublin, Colonia Dublin?
Dublin, that was
Okay.
where that's where they were. But he came up to conference a lot, and he would stay, I guess with Rulon or somebody. Anyway, he was in the house, and so Dad was able to ask him questions. And he insisted that all of my father and the other kids learn Spanish. So he thought it was important.
By chance, was it Bryant Randall Clark?
Yes, it was. Thank you for
Okay,
remembering.
That's the one that's the wet in history right there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I need to talk to you about that. It sounds, I'm glad you're going ahead and moving on this stuff. But if I can help in any way, I would like to, because I'd like to know more about that individual.
There's plenty.
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole conversation about that. And unless I'm mistaken, Kimball, correct me if I'm wrong, but the transcription that you have done on those journals is available in Kindex, right?
No, not the
Okay.
Bryant Randall Clark ones.
Okay.
But the Bryant Randall Clark one will be done probably by Christmas. That's 40,000 records, not pages, but
Okay.
records, which means a record can be 20 pages.
Yeah, yeah.
Significant number of pages.
Okay, great. As a reminder, everybody has the ability to get into Kindex at any time and take a look at what records we have. Lots of all these recordings of the you know, bios and things like that are being done before people pass away. Those are all on there. I mean, it's kind of a treasure trove of Ezra T. Clark family stuff, and we do want to unite the family a little bit better through Kindex. We're going to talk about that kind of a little bit later on in the agenda, so I don't want to put too much time on it now, but that's a great testimonial what's been going on with the Rulon Clark journals and the use of Kindex, so it's great. Anything else on that topic? Kimball, Linda?
Not today, thanks. I appreciate having a chance to share.
Yeah, thanks for joining. All right, let's talk about the next thing on our agenda, which is a new publication opportunity. And this is an area where our organization has helped in the publishing of many books. So this is a new opportunity for us. So Alice and Kimball, I'm going to let you take this one away.
No, April.
Sorry.
April and Kimball.
April.
Yeah. Go ahead, April. Do you want to share with us what you're up to?
Okay, I'm very interested in family genealogy and did a series of, well, I guess it can't show on here, but anyway, Clark family pioneer ancestors. But most recently, I'm working on my dad's book. My dad in 1966, before he went into his residency, I don't even know if you can see this. but he did this book. It's called Springdale's Patriarch. It's
Yeah.
got some gold lettering on it. Anyway, it's an 80-page book, but when I think when I finish it in probably by the end of next month, it should be 100 pages. And it's not very big, but apparently it has been used and circulated a lot. My dad did 250 copies of it in 1966, and now there's only maybe 2 left in some of the secondhand stores. And one of them was going for $175, which is what I last heard. And so because it had very big need for being updated, I have gone through it, and Kimball has helped me out a lot on this. And the thing is, it could go online and just stay there, but there's a big benefit to having a book that's bound, and you hold it in your hand and you open it and you turn the pages and you read it, and you can internalize on your through your visual memory what what your pedigree looks like, and what a lot of these stories. So what it was, it's called Some Memories of Wilford Woodruff Clark, compiled by John Russell Clark. And he had asked various of the family members that surrounded Georgetown stories that they could come up with Wilford. And they are categorized into chapters on his being a bishop for 19 years in Montpelier. Politics, he was both a senator and a congressman. He was a patriarch during the last 30 years of his life. He outlived Pamelia, his wife of 48 years, I think, and she passed away when he was 70. So he had another 20 something years left, and he had a second wife consecutively. And that's kind of an interesting story, because that second wife, there has been some speculation that she may have been actually a polygamous, plural wife. And I decided to jump on that because I thought that changes everything for me, because Wilford and Pamelia's 9th child was my great-grandfather. And I thought this person had actually said, no, those youngest 3, don't they look way more like Pernacy Bagley Clark? And so I thought I'd better do something about that. So I think my dad has been helping me with this too. He really, really wanted to know Pamelia, his grandmother, because she passed away as he was being born. I mean, it was like less than a month after she passed away that he was born. And there's this, I was going to show this. So I found this directory from 2005 that he had compiled of the 11 children and their descendants. And I guess I'm going to have a hard time showing you if you can't see this, but it does have their picture on the front. Wait, am I going to catch this right?
Go back just a little.
Yeah, just scoot back a little and put it kind of right where your face is. We can see your face.
Okay.
Other side. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Put it at the same depth
It's
as
not
your face.
focused.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a picture. It's the wedding photo of Wilford and Pamelia on the front. Wow, this is really not showing well.
Yeah, you're set on your blurry background. If you undo that, it'll focus on it.
Oh,
On your camera, zoom camera
Yeah,
setting.
turn off your background, like the fuzzy background. There we go.
oh, okay, good. If you can see a little bit of this, that would be cool. I don't know how to adjust.
Hold still.
Okay. Okay, the cool thing about this, it's just their wedding photo on the front, but it says Wilford Woodruff Clark and Pamelia Dunn Clark, and I found it in my father's files. He passed away in 2010, and he had so many things that I'm still going through. But this is a treasure to me, and I just found it like a couple days after I thought, oh, I really would love to know who some of my second cousins are, because this is vital to this DNA research, because I really am interested. I was interested in that when I went to nursing school and found out, things about DNA. And I thought, if I do this, I will know from my relationship with other second cousins, including, the first 8 who are claimed to be from Pamelia. And then the last 3, I'm one of the question marks. Okay, am I from Pernacy? But anyway, I just thought, I can't believe that somebody would think that Wilford had 2 wives and they would both be in the state of Idaho, because most polygamists at that time would have a wife in 2 different states, so that it wouldn't be found out. And he was such a high profile person anyway. But thankfully the research was successful. It showed a definite conclusion, and that all 11 are from familia. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to put that as a vehicle in here. There is a lot of other things that are going to be treasures to this update. One of which is the directory in the back. My dad had thought, it's very important to get cousins together. He always felt strongly about that. But it stops in 1970. He put a few, just that one generation, which is my generation, and then there's nothing for the future. And I would love for my children to know some of their third cousins. So we're among those connections that I made with this DNA research. There were people saying, hey, if you need anything else from me, let me help you out, because I can notify my cousins. And so I have a representative from each of his 10 children, because Ernest was a baby who died, but the rest all have posterity. And we can get an updated little mini directory done at the end of this. Also, because my dad had interviewed people, and there were maybe 1 or 2 paragraph memories put in each of these categories from various relatives who nobody will know anymore. They won't be names that people recognize. I made a chart, and Kimball is helping me to graphic design this chart, so it's going to be much more easy to be able to tell who is who in the speaking and the parts of these stories that are presented. So proof of monogamy, diagram of descendants, updated directory, being able to hold it in your hand. And then also I keep finding little things that my dad had kind of filed away that were treasures, like Wilford Woodruff Clark had penned in his beautiful handwriting a letter to my dad on October 8th, 1955, which is exactly 1 year before he passed away on October 8th, 1956. And this letter to my dad basically was counsel about how to pick a woman to marry. And I thought, oh, I want each of my sons to read this. And it was in his handwriting, and he was concerned. I mean, my dad was, I don't know, maybe 24 when he married, so he wasn't even old yet. He wasn't even getting up there in age, but it really helped to influence his choice, and before he met my mother. So there are just a lot of little treasures that I wanted to add to this book just to update it. And anyway, I don't even know how much it's going to cost. Kimball is helping me look into that, and just thought it would be like a treasure that a lot of Clarks might be interested in, because we have here a senator, a congressman, a colonizer. He ran the farm, or his children ran the farm, and he was a patriarch for the last 30 years of his life after his 19 years of being a bishop. So he was quite influential.
Great.
So in regards to that, let me just help you understand the quantity of pages. That'll be about a 100-page, 50 sheets, 100 pages, both sides, hardcover book, small book. It'll probably cost us about $15 to print, and it's a perfect bind. That's our cost for printing if we were to do 200 of them. So
Sorry, say that figure again.
$15, $14 to $15. That's just what my associate has been looking online and trying to figure that out per book. Hardcover. So that's the cheapest you can find. It might imply that we might have to do some binding stuff ourselves, but I'm not exactly sure the details on it. But $14 to $15. So we could mark that up some and resell. But if you were to take 200 times 14 or 15, it's about $3,000 for 200 books. If we were to do 200, so.
And is the proposal that we finance the full amount, or is this a joint financing? How are we looking at it?
It's a good question, April. What are your thoughts? Would this be that?
Yeah, I was thinking joint, well, I would like 50 of them for myself because our family, my husband and I have 7 children and 21 grandchildren. We're thinking that 50 copies would be good for our family, just to have extras. And then the other 150, Kimball, I'm sure you could figure out what to do. But it's the fun thing is that people who have held up and who have handled my dad's book, it's just not, it's very concise, and it's a good, what's the word? It's good, like a good backbone, a good representation of how you can easily make an influencer out of a relative. You can just take the meat of what people remember about him and put it in. And it's because the sad thing is Wilford Woodruff Clark never kept a personal journal. And funny that my dad, that's the first thing he mentions on this book. And yet then my dad didn't even keep a personal journal. He didn't learn from what he did for his grandfather. But I do have 2 filing cabinets behind me and 10 boxes of files that I inherited when my father passed away, and my siblings said, "Here, April, we know you're into family history. Make a biography for about Dad." So that's my next project after I get his updated. I thought I would just kind of follow that pattern. Well, actually, my dad wrote so many letters, many, many, many letters. So I'll be taking the information out of what he left. But anyway, it's a good kind of a pattern, a book to, if nothing else, you can take it to Roots Tech and get some additional supplemental training and come up with something like this for a relative that you might have and want to do a story on them.
So you bring up kind of an interesting point where, as we know, the Clark descendants have over 100 publications that they have printed that are biographies or autobiographies of themselves or someone else in the Clark family. Of 160, excuse me, of 160 descendants, 3 generations down from Ezra, 100 publications. That's an incredible number. So those of you who are leaders of your that are Clark representatives, look at those books that your family has and consider revising them or adding to them, or maybe creating one if you don't have one for your line. I've been thinking about this. So the Ezra T. Clark Gould book is kind of the keystone Bible, if you will, of the Clark family records. But it's going to be so big if we ever reprint that you just can't.
Yeah.
So you might want to start thinking about doing kind of a book for that child of Ezra and those lineages. And that would be interesting because obviously the Ezra T. Clark's one's right now like this big, but if you were to augment it again, it would be this big. Because that's what I think it was printed in like the mid 80s, right?
Yeah.
72.
70,
Oh,
no,
72.
originally the Green Gold book
76, but it goes until 72.
Oh, huh.
until 76.
It includes people born up to 1972, but it was published in 1976.
Oh, wow.
Well, someone can grab on this.
I'm pretty sure about those dates, just because the fact of who in my family is in it and who's not.
Oh, okay, got it.
Water to make the cut.
So, I mean, it'd be way too big to reprint that. So start thinking about your own, I guess my point is start thinking about your own ancestor that you descend from and what books you can print from that line.
And there was a reprint of it, but it didn't include
There was.
people, just included corrections.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay, I see. So, but anyway, now that cost that I told you, $3,000 is just print costs. It's not, layout, design costs. There is a cost there too. I'm guessing, if I was just a knee-jerk guess, probably somewhere from 1,000 to 2,000 for the time that it'll take. She wants a lot of design and new schematics and stuff like that. So it's not just a matter of copying and pasting the text in. And anybody who has done publishing before know that when you do a book, you have to get it right.
Yeah.
With all the editing and formatting. So that will take some time. So and we could work on that. But the fact is that April's pitching here a joint payment. So her family would pay a portion, but she would like to see the Ezra T. Clark family also pay a portion. And maybe we could work something out. But I think that the intent is to get approval on getting this book printed, or at least in part funded by the Ezra T. Clark group. For how much, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, you're seeing the ballpark somewhere from $3,000 to $5,000. And if their family chips in a portion, let's say they do half or a third, you know, and the Ezra T. Clark family does the rest, if that's a possible thing. And we'd have yet another book that we could sell at events.
Yeah, and you know, this is a book that already has been successfully sold, so I think we've got a strong case for it. Let me ask this really quickly. From a timeline perspective, how quickly are you looking at trying to actually print and, you know, start distributing?
Yeah, April, you want to answer that?
Well, I don't really have a big deadline. I think it would be fun since we're a couple months away from Christmas. I don't know, maybe that's too rushed,
No.
but it's getting.
You had a deadline, you told me. Remember your deadline?
Yeah, I said, well, if we get it done like until the week before Thanksgiving, then maybe it can go to, you know, get printed after that and then can be.
Just so you understand where we're at, we are beginning to actually lay it out. So it's very possible to get it done by Thanksgiving.
Okay, so from an organizational perspective, just a couple things. First of all, I just counted up the lines. We have 5 formal reps here. And if we take the people who came, who are not family reps, and we ask you to serve as proxy, we can get up to 7. Either way, we don't meet our minimum threshold of 8 family lines to do voting. So a couple things to think about. That's already a problem, and in our bylaws, we do have established what to do if that happens, if something needs to be moved on. What our first line of defense is when we don't have enough family lines here is to just wait 6 months and try again at the next meeting. If that's not possible, if there has to be decisions made prior to that, then there can be a special meeting held. And so that is something that we can possibly look at and schedule if needed. The second thing that we've also established as sort of the procedures is to not vote on anything that doesn't have well-established timelines or well-established dollar amounts added to it. So there's just scope creep that tends to happen, and so sometimes we'll approve something that we think is going to be $1,000 and it turns out being, I don't know, $58,000. And so we just need to, that's part of the procedures that we're putting in, is that before voting that we do want established timelines and we want established dollar amounts. That's not to say that if we go over, we can't, you know, approve an additional cost if something happens, but that's just part of it. So my initial reaction to this is, because we don't have enough family lines, is rather than holding a special vote sometime between now and Christmas to get this done, is to wait 6 months. But if that's not possible, then we'll have to do a special convening.
Do we really not? We only have 5 right here.
We only have, the only family representatives that are formal family representatives is Brian, Kimball, Peter, Ellen, Cheryl. Now we can make a
But
case.
she's
not a family representative. Oh, wait, sorry.
Yes.
What line are you from? Hiram. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, there's still 5 lines.
So she's a proxy. She's been asked.
Yeah, that's okay. Proxy
Proxy's been
proxy
asked.
works. Wait, hang on. Hiram.
So who's the official
that's
person
fine.
for Edward Barrett?
Yeah, who's Edward Barrett's?
We have a lot of Edward.
Yeah, that's my point, is we can ask the people who just showed up to be proxy. Technically, that's not quite what we're supposed to do.
Right.
The actual family representative is supposed to send a designated proxy, right?
Yeah.
If that's not happening, we could make the case that April could step in as the Wilford Woodruff proxy. But that still only gets us to 7. So regardless, we're not at the 8. So that's the question on the table, really, April, and you and Kimball, you know, give us your thoughts. If we need to hold a special meeting, we can schedule a Zoom meeting, but as per the bylaws that we've accepted, we need 8 lines.
Well,
Kelly,
fine.
April, excuse me, sorry. Question for on the financial side of this, would we be providing funding for the publication, or are we going to be, as an organization, buying a percentage of the books? I'm asking that just because in past book transactions we've gone in with a certain amount of money, and then we've been paid back from the sales. I guess what I'm asking, are we going to be just purchasing outright a number of the books to help with the publishing costs if you're going to buy the remainder? Because functionally that's different as far as, are we just fronting money for the publication and then we're getting the product, or are we going to be
so my thinking is
sharing all the books from now until they're all sold? Because that's
I think what we would probably do is give, if April's family is going to buy 50, we of course would be no markup, it'd just be the cost. And if the Ezra T. Clark Family Association is going to resell the books, again, they get them at cost and they can mark it up to whatever they want when they sell it. So that's just the costs themselves of the book with $3,000, and then that could be marked up. Whether April marks it up for her family, the Ezra T. Clark family marks it up for the greater family is our decision.
Yeah.
But the cost to publish will be a labor cost, you know. I'm guessing 1,000 to 2,000 is probably a fair guess. So a maximum of 5,000, I think, is fair. But yeah, we can definitely make money on this.
So,
So
that right there is part of what we need to decide. Like there needs to be a firmly established cost. We can't just go in saying it could be.
yeah,
So let's actually do the pricing. Let's actually do the legwork. Let's figure out what the hour rate is going to be for the layout, and then make that decision and then vote on it that way. The second part of the procedure is every time that we do vote on something, we do want to do a financial review. So just, you know, from Stewart's financials, we're looking at somewhere between 40 and 60% of our current total money. If we did the full $3,000 to $5,000, 3,000 is 40% of
If
our
we did the full, yeah.
reserves. 5,000 would be about 60% of our reserves. So that's something to consider as well. And again, this all goes into when we can vote on it. Right now we can't. So these are things that we should probably look at, lay out, come with the actual proposals, and then do actual voting.
And I suppose we have to acknowledge the fact that we're not going to sell them immediately.
Exactly.
They'll be sitting around for 2 or 3 years before we sell them.
Or 20, right? Like with the branches, right? So yeah, we need to think about that. So these are all things that we're trying procedurally to establish rather than just voting on the idea. We want to vote on actual measures and money and timelines. So that would be my vote would be, or not my vote because we're not voting, but my preference would be, let's wait until April and try again. And April, just to pull back the curtain a little bit, my absolute worst months of my life are always August to November. So in April, I always have this great opportunity to talk to every family representative and ask them to send their proxies. And I talked to them several weeks in advance. I didn't get a chance to do that this time. All we did was send out an email and post it on Facebook and Instagram and cross our fingers. But we have, the last couple of meetings had up to 9 lines represented. And we haven't fallen below the threshold for 2 years now. So this is the first time that we've fallen before the threshold. The reason why I bring that up is I think there's a very strong case that we would have enough people to vote in April. If it has to be done before that, we'll have to call a special meeting, and that's okay. We can do that. The final thing that I would say is this is the type of work that I think our organization is well established in. We do this. We want publications, we want histories, we want records. So I think we have a really good opportunity to do this for the Wilford Woodruff line. We just need to fix and get all of the particulars so that when we vote, we know what we're actually voting on. So that's my sense. Anyone else who wants to jump in, feel free.
Yeah, amen. That's the whole reason that Ezra T. Clark started the organization, is to publish family histories. So
Yeah.
Not entirely.
yeah, that's one of them.
That's one of them.
There was 18 things,
Yeah.
but there was a couple of things that he actually put money down for.
Yeah.
So. And
Well, I'm fine to wait. I'm absolutely fine to wait, because like I said, I'm still going through a couple of filing cabinets and a lot of things just to find anything else that might be of value. I have a whole Kimball stack, you know, with things about Elmer and Royal and, you know, a lot of other of the sons of Wilford. Well, and that's just that line. But I know that we have things even from Susan Leggett that I have in another box. So my dad was quite a genealogy enthusiast.
That's awesome.
It's
I'm
incredible.
always excited with anything Susan Leggett, so just a bug in your ear, that makes me really happy.
Okay, yeah, I've got this great big family portrait, and I thought, well, that wasn't the wife I descended from, but Kimball could probably use it, so it's in my suitcase, and I didn't end up going last week as I had thought because we had a family funeral, but a distant one. But yeah. So
Yeah, the question was asked, is that an original that you're talking about that you have?
I think it's a reproduction.
Okay.
I knew right where. Oh, it's right here.
You hold it up, I'm just curious.
So this is what I have one of these.
Yeah, oh, okay, let's
Is it
see.
on foam core?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think so. I think this
It's
is
the
original.
original of that image still.
Yeah. The Hiram Don Carlos family, they have an original. Yes. Your band's right?
No, I'm Zant.
Yours aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ben's mother has it. Ben Garrett's
Oh.
mother has the original.
Oh.
So we do have a very beautiful original that we could potentially scan. That your, let's see, would that be your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Your sister has.
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
Yeah, she's the big genealogist.
Well, that's great. If we're willing to wait till April, I think we can, you know, meet those needs. What I would ask in the meantime is, April, you and Kimball work together to come up with kind of a timeline and a cost proposal so that we have the concrete numbers to work off of. That would be great.
Sounds
I
good.
have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What would you anticipate the cost of each book would be? Maybe you kind of covered this and what you would sell, we would sell them for. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
You have
Well,
any projection?
Let's pretend that the high would be, let's assume that it's $5,000 for 200 total. I mean, that's a high, okay?
$25 each
$25 each for a little book?
cost.
I don't
To
have.
publish. Okay.
So
And then you would sell them for
Dollars for the 150 that we want for the order.
So, I mean, this is assuming we pay for everything, okay? So $5,000 divided by 200 equals $25 each. That's the cost to produce. Yes.
And if you're gonna sell it at a bookstore, they mark them up double, just
Yep.
telling you.
Yeah, so let's suppose that they were 3,500 because the family steps in to pay for their portion. 1,750 our cost. I mean, it just really depends largely on how much April Clark Clyde's family wants to contribute, you know.
And typically a book doesn't cost this much to publish. It's just that we're doing such low quantities. 200 is a very low quantity.
Yeah, and if we had more, it's a possibility it'd be less per book, but still it's gonna be more money. So,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's something to look at. Maybe in April you can come with a couple different proposals, maybe
Sure.
like if we front this amount of money, you know, that amount of money, that could be fun too. That could be important. Interesting, good discussion, yes.
And they don't have to be
You
hard bound. They could be spiral bound if you want to
Yeah.
keep it cheap or something, so.
and you might find somebody who's willing to donate that's a member of that family or whatever that say, hey, I want to contribute, you know, $200 to this project just as a donation. That'd be a good opportunity to ask for a donation actually on the website and on the Facebook page.
And
Absolutely, and I think we need to get to that point where we're a lot more
independent.
where we can say, we've got this project, do you want to
Yeah.
contribute? And people can give for that. That, of course, requires a lot of little things like our website.
Would be one of the projects.
Yeah, one of the projects on the website, which means, you know, that means a human has to go in and load up the information and, you know, make sure that we're monitoring all of that. We also have to, you know, we have to look at maximum donations and things like that, but I think it's exciting. I mean, as we move closer, I know that some of the stuff has moved very slowly, like the website and things like that. And our family history work for that matter. I mean, Kimball's been sitting on hundreds of boxes for decades now, right? I mean, our family history work is slow too, but I think what we're doing with our family is we're slowly shifting kind of the cultural needle, if that makes sense, where we're getting more and more people involved, more family lines involved, and slowly we're getting more people more engaged in the work. And that to me is very exciting. It opens up a lot of really nice possibilities for the family.
I'd like to make a couple suggestions if I can
Please.
regarding these types of opportunities. I think, well, and Lauren kind of addressed that a little bit with particular family members that have interest making a donation. I have no problem at all investing some money. If we could get those, and I think this was already mentioned, if we can get them dialed into a certain dollar amount. But if that is a desire and that's, you've got a book and you want to have it, let's get a list of people that are interested in that. If we can pre-sell, that makes it a whole lot easier to allocate funds because we know how many are going to be sold right out of the gate. We can recover some of that initial investment, and that might even determine how many that get printed because we know amount of interest there is. I know that might be a little bit hard to get out there, but we just ran out of the TBC Clark books. I think that was about a 10-year investment. I could be a little bit off on that until those are out, but there are other books. I know we got a stack. See this? The autobiography of Reuben W. Clark. We got a stack of those that were gifted. And I know there's a lot of, in years past, we've had a lot of artwork. I think we've sold through everything that we had as far as the family organization. I have no problem if we want to publish more of those, print more, create a little bit more merchandise, if you will, for the family to the next generation to get copies of things. I just would like it if we can get those kind of more concise, maybe written down as to a proposal as to how much and what, and then try to get, if for example, April wants to have 50 for her family, well, that's a quarter of the production that's already sold. Yep. If we know we can get 100, well, maybe we print 250, and maybe that makes the cost per book go down, if that makes sense. So as much of that as we can determine in advance, that really helps on the financial side to make a commitment, because we've already got commitments or pre-sales or we're not going to have that investment outstanding for a number of years. Maybe we're talking months or a year until we're out of debt and we're creating new funds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think a pre-sale is a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
There also is the opportunity of pre-donations, right? Here's our project, donate to the project, but a pre-sale I think is a great idea. Yeah. So let's revisit that in April. I think that's a great thing to put on the table. I think that'll be really good.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
Great. Did I see Peter? Did you hop back on?
He's making comments.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he's making comments. Okay. I'm on the call. Not to hop
He said
back.
something, okay.
Okay.
I don't have.
Yeah, he did say something.
Yeah, he said like a crowdfunding. So yeah, asking for donations, that's great. Yeah. All right. Well, good. Great conversation. I love it. And we'll be fully tuned in to getting at least 8 family reps on the next meeting so that we can vote on that. Let me pull up our PowerPoint again. Quick, since Charles isn't on the line, this will be fast. Charles has proposed a Eastern States bus tour for next year in the off year. Kimball and I met with him and talked that through a little bit. I'll put up on the screen and everybody will get this deck, but this is kind of his proposal of the sites that they would go to. And he has started working on talking to some people from, I know he's going to talk to Richard Lambert. I think he said he was also going to check in with the Mormon Historical Society or something.
Association.
Yeah. And so he's doing a little bit of work on the back end, but the point is he would like to do a bus tour in 2026. We had some discussion on that, and one of the things that we talked about is how frequently do we do these bus tours. I think the last one was 3 years ago, I think we decided. And if there's an appetite, I don't see any reason why we don't have to do it. It's not a cost up front to the organization. People pay their own way. But it looks like it would be a really fun bus tour of the sites that he's proposed. Basically, you're covering about 1,300 miles in the bus tour, which would be a lot of fun. You get to see a lot of really, really great places. Now, I did not go on the last one, but can someone remind me approximately how much it was a head? I think it was 2,000 to 3,000, somewhere in there.
2, 3 per person.
2 to 3.
Yeah, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000. They
Yeah.
had speakers included in that.
We zoom out tiny bit, just to make it more.
Make it bigger?
Just a tiny bit bigger.
Yeah, I can do that.
140%.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so here's part one.
Oh, okay.
I'll go back in a minute.
I've seen this.
So if there's an appetite, I think it's a great idea, and Charles is gonna head it up, so he'll start looking into that. The question, of course, is timing. The last one I think was in the summer.
No.
Fall. It
Fall.
was in the fall.
It was in October.
And I think that's kind of what they're looking at this time, although Kimball said there was a really exciting possibility if we did it in the summer to hook up with, tell me again, the
August.
Joseph.
First week in August. Yeah, so the Joseph and Emma Hale Historical Society meets, I don't know if it's every other, I think it's every other year in Kirtland and in Nauvoo. So if we wanted to kind of pair it with them, they would like to hear the stories of our ancestors and how they engaged Ezra T and how he engaged with Joseph. So we could get a little bit more specific information about Ezra and his siblings and his father Timothy and how they worked with the Smiths. But we could explain to the Smith family how the Clarks associated with the Smiths, and in turn, if the Smiths have any records, how the Smiths associated with the Clarks. And I happen to know 2 descendants of Joseph Smith, David Denning and Kennedy. I can't remember his first name. Michael Kennedy, and his daughter is also there, and they have some messages for us who are the Brighamites, if you will, okay, and thanking us for carrying on the priesthood, etc., in our various duties and responsibilities as we went west. And it's a very touching kind of back and forth between the families to be able to see that. There are stories that we know about Joseph that they don't know. And there are stories that they might know about our family that we don't know. And that's really cool. And the Joseph Smith and Emma Hale Historical Society is gaining in speed. They have 10% of all of the descendants of Joseph and Emma are active or deceased members of the church that have ordinances. Only 10%.
Yeah.
And they're working on the other 90. The vast majority live in Australia, interestingly enough. So they'll talk a little bit about their history, and they'd be more than happy to come and present to our group on the bus, or not necessarily on the bus, but have us be part of their family association if we would like. Now, the interesting thing about that is there are some of us, namely David and the Charles Rich Clark line and Richard, we actually are Smiths. So that has a dual interest for us. So we come from Asel Smith. We don't come from Joseph and Hiram or their siblings. We come from Asel. So that would be rather interesting.
Yeah, my mother's grandfather is the youngest first cousin of those Smith cousins, Joseph, Hiram, and the rest of them.
So there might be also some other Ezra T. Clark descendants that are linked into that line as well. And they're actually inviting Asel Smith's family to that event. So it'd be an interesting thing for a lot of us. And I think there was a large amount from the Smith line that were actually on that tour that will probably go again. So that might be something. It's a little bit self-serving, but it's also, I'm not going to lie, it is self-serving, but it's also a great opportunity if we're going to be visiting church sites and talk about Joseph Smith and Hiram. Why not visit the descendants of Joseph and Hiram that are going to be there talking about it? Both people in the Community Church of Christ, in the Church of Jesus Christ, and other restorationist groups and non-members that are all coming.
Yeah.
So no,
So, is that background noise or is someone trying to talk?
Someone's
I think
trying
it's
to
background
talk.
noise.
Yeah.
Let me try. You've got line.
You go the first page here. So that tour starts where and ends in Missouri, right? So,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Where did it start out?
You're asking me to jump back and forth too much, Andrew. Started in
New
Kirtland.
Okay, so it stays pretty close.
You fly into
States.
Cleveland, yeah.
Okay.
So, Charles was advocating for the fall. Kimball, I think, makes a strong argument for the fun that we could have if we did it in August. Either way, I'm handing the ball to Kimball and Charles. So, the one thing that I will say is that's a big undertaking to put together in less than a year if we're doing it in August. And as far as like marketing it, getting the word out, we have to have a certain minimum number of people to sign up before we can even solidify. So that being said, there'll probably be a lot of communication via email and Facebook and Instagram. So if you could, make sure that you're urging all of your family members to be connected to us on the social media platforms. That way, when these flyers go out on what we're planning, people will have a chance to see that. So, I think that's it on that.
If
go
it's
ahead.
in August, do we know when that reunion, so do we have an August
Yeah, so
date-ish?
first week in August in Kirtland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Right when it begins. So we would just be adjacent with them,
I love the idea of doing anything with Joseph Smith's family. I hate the idea of the Eastern states in August. So.
I agree. Totally
Put that
agree
in
with
there
you.
for all to hear.
Bring your fan.
Go for the fall.
Is Kirtland bad? I
It's
know
all
Missouri.
bad. You go west or east of the
Okay.
Mississippi, it's all terrible.
Yes,
Yeah.
I knew Missouri was bad. I wasn't sure about Kirtland,
The bus
Ohio.
has AC.
Yes.
It was
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
So the
We
hotel.
got a nice new bus.
Yeah, good point.
Okay.
And let's suppose we don't do something with the Smith family. They do want to come anyway to one of our reunions and speak.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah. And even if we don't go to their reunion the first week of August, we could probably still get contacts from there to meet up with in the fall, right? So
Yes.
there's that as well. But again, we'll just kind of let Charles and Kimball run with this. I think Charles is going to spearhead it, and Kimball, it sounds like you'll support just naturally by default. So, all right. Let's see. Last thing, and we're running out of time. We got about 20 minutes left. But I want to talk a little bit about family history efforts and do a little bit of brainstorming, kind of open mic here. First, I'll just say that I'm a big believer in the power of healthy conflict, which Kimball and I have a lot, as cousins who love each other do. So Kimball and I talk. We have a lot of offline conversations about really great ideas and things that we can put money in here and there. And we've even said kind of our philosophies. Kimball's philosophy is more on the side of if we have money, let's use it. Mine's more on the side of let's hoard it and only use it when we know it's absolutely necessary. So we've had a lot of conversations about this. Well, one of the things that's come up recently is the family history efforts in Kindex. And as things are scanned, and now that there's new AI integration in Kindex, and you can fill in any of the blanks since I'm not a techie, there's an opportunity to just hit a button and pay for AI to translate every single scanned document, audio, whatever in there. And we could just pay it and then it's there. And then as new things are scanned, we can keep hitting that button to pay. From the one side of that, it is a great thought to get it all digitized, have it all searchable. From my vantage point, I look at it and go, okay, how many people are actively really using this and really getting into those records? And I start looking at it more from the lens of, I want our family to be engaged in family history efforts. Whether that means going in and transcribing it yourself or going in and looking at the documents and hitting the button yourself to fund the transcribing.
Which you can do.
Which you can do. In my mind, it makes way more sense to try to get the family, particularly the youth and the younger generation who are tech savvy, connected via our Kindex archive. Everyone has access to that. I think Kimball, you and I had mentioned that there's like 30 actual users signed up. But of those 30 users that are signed up, and I'm one, so I'm gonna throw myself on the fire here. The amount of times that I've actually logged in and done any work is somewhere in the neighborhood between 0 and 0.5. Truly. So the question then becomes, what is the role of our Kindex archive? And if the goal is to simply transcribe and have it all digitized in one spot, and a few key stakeholders have access to that and look at it, then that's one argument. In my mind, I want to get our family united through the work and have hundreds of people in there constantly doing things. So Kimball and Charles is the family historian. We had a good conversation either a week or 2 weeks ago about some creative ways that we could do that. And I do think it's a slow shift to get people engaged. I don't think that we can just send out an email and all of a sudden everybody's going to be participating in this. I think little by little we start moving the needle to where people kind of get involved in this. So we had a huge brainstorming. We're like, could we do something where there's a contest and the winner of whoever transcribes the most documents gets the tour, we'll pay for your tour bus, right? Or
they get a green book.
yeah, or they get a green book, right? Or could we do, Kimball had an idea of maybe, and Stuart, we need to talk about this on the logistics, but Kimball had the idea of maybe each family line could be given a small stipend and say you have up to $500 to use it how you want. Throw a pizza party on the Horace Wells line and have everybody there with their computers and start transcribing things, and we'll reimburse you for the pizza party, right? So we have these ideas, but the thought is, rather than just saying we have a need to transcribe and do this AI and can we get funds, which is so much easier to just hand off the money and then never think about it again. Can we get people connected through the family history site and get people into Kindex and actually using it so that the responsibility isn't just a financial responsibility, it becomes a family responsibility. I know Thomas, Kimball's son here, has done a ton. I think he's the leader in over you, maybe.
He is.
Yeah. So Thomas has done the most transcribing and the most work. So these are things like if we could get another person to compete with him and beat him out, there should be an award for
You're
that.
not going to
right?
beat Thomas. He has 800. Good luck.
How many documents do we have?
Oh yeah, let me pull some stuff up here.
Let's go off.
And why don't you just go to the screen? It's there. EzraTClark.kindex.org.
Oh, I was gonna pull up your spreadsheet. Do you want to see the spreadsheet?
That's fine too.
The spreadsheet. The
The
spreadsheet's the books. It's not
oh,
the actual.
Okay.
Just do a new tab and do EzraTClark.kindex.org.
While she's looking, my question is, do you have when somebody goes on, can they look for something that's their line?
Yes. Okay. It can be organized a little better, but it does. Yes, it does have
Scroll down.
mothers, the two mothers, and then all the children
Mhm.
underneath them. But it does also have a lot of stuff that's kind of random beneath that.
Because I'm thinking in terms of getting my grandchildren involved.
Yes.
Keep scrolling.
Well, I was just gonna highlight this right here,
Yeah.
this progress. You'll see in our Kindex archive, which again, anyone can get into. It's 27% transcribed, and if you look at the number of documents here, I don't know if I can blow it up, yeah. I mean, 851 documents, 232. We've got, there's just so much. And on the images, just being able to type in who's in the images so that it can be searchable. Audio, same thing. So this is kind of where we're at. Let me scroll down. You tell me where to go.
Yeah, keep going. There you go. Leaderboard.
Yeah, there we
Thomas with 822. So try to beat that. No.
go. Yeah,
Nerd.
we'd have to
No.
start over. It'd be
But
a zero.
to be fair, so part of that, the reason why Thomas did that is we had some extra funding from the Ezra T. Clark family when they purchased the book eye that enabled us to purchase the book eye.
Mhm.
And so we said, well, we're going to go ahead and use that towards scanning and transcription. And so when Thomas was caught up with a lot of the scanning that we had from the museum, he would just transcribe every day.
Perfect.
And so that's how he got that many. So this is the point. If you put a little bit of money behind the thing, then the youth, etc., will probably be interested in going. So give them a little bit of incentive, a little bit of financial incentive, maybe give them food even, okay, and say get going. And so we were thinking about the concept of delegation, where we could say, okay, we already have 16 representatives, right? Is it 16?
Yeah,
15,
supposedly.
16,
Yeah.
okay? So why not say to each representative, look, there's on the table, this is what was the thought. We have on the table maybe $1,000 or $2,000, and whoever shows up to the meeting, like today, they would have access, and I don't know if I'm stealing your thunder or not on this, but whoever shows up, they have access to this $1,000. And let's say there's what, 7 today, so we divide that up. Of this, the $2,000 or $1,000, we divide that up by 7, and then you get that piece to advance the family history within your family line. And so if the collections are organized in Kindex appropriately by family line, you would know that Wilford Woodruff Clark works on these records if you wanted to do that. And you'd also know what records are not there if you happen to have them, and you could go ahead and scan it yourself, whether you use Kindex, whether you scan it yourselves at family history libraries, or whether you pay Kinko's to do it. I don't care, but here's the money. Kinko's doesn't even exist anymore. Sorry, FedEx office. So here's a little bit of money for your family line to work on your family history because your representative showed up at the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's yours for the taking, and you make it happen, and then they report on the progress the next meeting.
Now, to that point, let me clarify. It doesn't all have to be money backed, right? But the point is, how can we get people involved in this? And we could attach it to things like family reunions. Like maybe as a build up to the next family reunion, there is a challenge on family lines. You know, or we can see how many people can bring their laptops to a reunion, and maybe there's a workshop where people are actually in there doing it rather than just seeing it on a big screen. Like you're gonna learn by doing a lot better than just seeing the demo over and over. I've seen the demo like 5 times and I still don't know what I'm doing when I'm in Kindex, right? So it's too many months between.
Yeah, it's okay.
I
It's
gotta
okay.
get in
It's
and I
okay.
gotta do it. So this is a place where I just wanted to talk about it. We have so many records, and so many other people, like April brought up all the boxes in her basement. There's 4 boxes over here that Kimball's showing off right now.
Right here. These are all Clark boxes with material that has not been digitized, is not on Kindex, and not been transcribed. Treasures in here. We've got William O. Clark's autobiography in here. That's Ezra T.'s brother.
Wow.
We've got all kinds of stuff in here that's really rich. Brian Clark's stuff is in here. Ralph's stuff and his ancestors. Edward Barrett Clark's Book of Remembrance. We've got a lot of really great stuff, but I can't sit here and scan it for free.
Yeah.
I've already given $3,000 plus of free work to the organization. So what we were thinking is that each representative could take the box that responds to them, and they could be responsible to digitize it however they choose. Here's a little bit of money. Here's your box. Make it happen.
Like I said, I don't know that we can fix it in a 6-month period, right? We can't just have this conversation today and say, all right, all of a sudden we've got all the family lines engaged in this. I mean, we can't even get all the family lines to the meetings, right? So I think it is a slow moving cultural shift, but in my opinion, I think there's a value to uniting the family through the work rather than just putting out a call to fund the work. And we could do that. We could just pay Kimball and Kindex to digitize these 4 boxes and then to transcribe those 4 boxes. We could do that. I don't think that makes us any closer as a family, right? I think that's just outsourcing this work to a company.
It's a top-down approach.
It's a top-down approach, and I want to get us on the inside out. And also again, pulling back the curtain, as I've worked with the youth for 12 years, and they are uniquely positioned to gather Israel. And I want the youth involved in this. And that's the future of this organization, is getting the next generations involved. The older generations are dying out. That's just the way it is, right? So we need to get the younger generations involved. And so I think that's something that we're gonna have to do family rep by family rep. I don't think it can be done in our 6-month meetings. So
I have a suggestion if I can.
Go ahead, sir.
If there's a desire by one branch of the family, I have no problem. And you guys, I'm bouncing this off you. We're having a conversation here. But what if somebody wants to donate $500 and they want to earmark it for whatever that transcription or they want to earmark it for AI for their line to be documents to be handled, or they have a pet project. Hey, I have this journal and I want to get it transcribed. To take donations that are earmarked is, I mean,
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, for boxes like this, let's say someone shows up with a box, if they want to fund it and pay Kindex, I think that's a great thing to do. And I have no problem with someone saying, this isn't my bag or my cup of tea, so I'm gonna fund someone to do it for me. I have no problem with that. But I think we're defaulting to it, right?
And there, I
Yeah.
guess a further one step beyond that is, like Kimball just mentioned, William Ogilvy, Ezra T's brother. Like, I think if we had that, if we had rights to that and we could reproduce that, that would sell like hotcakes at a family reunion. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that would be gone, even if it was, and then I guess I'm qualifying this, even if it was a spiral bound or a paperback, or you know, if you just got the documents into people's hands, I think that would actually, and this is to April's point on the book as well, I think that will actually make a bigger difference in people's hands physically. And I think that's maybe what you were getting at a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that it's difficult when you might have all this information in a repository where we've saved it. It's not going to disappear, but maybe that's not going to change somebody's life, or they're not going to read it because they don't know how to access it, or they don't have it tangibly in front of them, that it's like, oh, I'm going to look at this because I'm not doing anything today.
Yeah, and to that point, I mean, how many images might be great sales sources for, you know, I mean, a cool image on family lines that someone might buy. This is again where the website is kind of this linking thing to everything that we do, because we could have a family store where you could purchase the digital version of the Springville Patriarch book or the hardbound. You know, like we could have all of that available, which not only helps support everything else that we do, because it's bringing in funds beyond just the donations we get every 2 years. But it also gives us an opportunity to discover more and more, and that's where the fire starts building. We get more and more excited about new discoveries. People are making those discoveries on their own, and that is going to cause them to want to continue the work.
This
So
is
yeah.
Linda. Could I make
ahead.
this just kind of to play off of what Stuart said? Is there a way online to maybe pre-sell things before they've even been transcribed or bound? I know with William O, that's probably a good one to try it with, because I already wrote down in my notes that I had to buy one of those before it was even talked about. But I would pre-purchase several of those. I know for my family. That's just a no-brainer. And Bryant Randall as well, but I don't know how many people would buy that one. But maybe a pre-sale option online, but then how do we let people know about it? Do we just let them know at the reunions, or do we really have everybody's email so we can send out information?
Yeah, we have a big archive of email addresses, so there is that possibility. And again, this is where I think social media holds a big role, right? If people are connected to us on Instagram and Facebook, they're going to naturally be seeing updates if we put out calls like that. I think traditionally, to that question, Linda, traditionally what we've done is we've funded hours of work, not specifying exactly what line that's going to. And what Stuart's bringing up is what we could do is specify hours of work on a particular thing. Not necessarily pre-selling that biography, right? But maybe if we could prepay for the work for it to be done, then that digital copy is in Kindex for anyone to look up at any time, right? So those are the types of creative, ways that I think we can.
Andrew, does the website have a checkout capability
Not yet.
right now?
No,
it doesn't, okay.
It's supposed to.
And the donate here.
Have a store and a donation.
Yeah.
And a project. So what Stuart's talking about also falls in line with our projects.
Yes.
Section of the website. Someone could start a project or submit a project, and then we vote on it and put it on there.
Yeah.
So something to know that, go ahead, Stuart.
Okay, I just wanted to make a proposal regarding this. I think on the website, there is a projects tab or something of that nature. maybe because I think social media people interact with more regularly. And it's not, this is all still in the works, but if we get the Venmo up and running, and we have a projects page on Facebook, for example, and we have the rough outline of what we want to accomplish, say, April's book, on that family line, the William Oglesby autobiography, and we have a tab there that you can vote Venmo to, to the organization, and that would help fund it. Maybe you could, if we have it fleshed out this well, you could have, hey, we're anticipating this will be $30 to own this, or $50 to have your copy of this. But you can fund as many as you want. And that way that solves a lot of the concern about, I think it was Kelly was bringing about, is, hey, I'd like to hoard this money because we don't know when we're going to get more. If we have interest that's already been generated, we already have some testing, we already have people donating, that it'll self-fund. Does that make sense? And then we're not having to necessarily make a decision after the fact. People have already funded it. It's just a matter of approving it, and we've already got the money there. I feel like that's a little bit more organic.
Gee, that's beautiful.
I think that's probably the right way to approach the money side of this,
Agreed.
right? Rather than,
And then even waiting for 8 people to show up at a meeting.
Yeah.
It's already funded.
yeah, exactly. We don't even have to
Yeah.
vote on it. I think that's the right approach for that. But I think it only solves half the problem, right? That solves the money problem for the stuff that, I mean, we do have to have digitation. There are man hours behind this. And so, yeah, we have to have the funding. But the other side of it is the engagement. Even with AI translating all of this and transcribing all of this, we still need human eyes on it to check those translations, to fix the errors and issues.
Yep.
Even with all paying for transcriptions, we still need boots on the ground to go out and record and interview those people who are, older and that might be passing soon, and we want to get their record. That's just part of it. We need engagement and we need funds. Now, I'm a very time conscious person, so we only have 2 minutes left. So what I'll say is, maybe can we just chew on that for a little bit? I think we can maybe test some things with Facebook, and I'll connect with Alicia. Maybe Kimball and I can connect with Alicia and see what maybe we can drum up via Facebook and Instagram, as far as see what happens. What happens if we put out a call for earmarking some funds for these things. So we can test that. I don't think that necessarily needs to be voted on, and we can't vote even if we wanted to, but that just seems like something that we could test. Are people comfortable with us just testing that type of stuff?
Like a prepay earmarking.
Yeah, kind of like these are some transcriptions, things that we're in. Is everybody okay with that?
Kind of like a survey or something like that.
Yeah,
we
we
if you
survey.
put a
Okay,
Google
we got
form
thumbs
out
up.
there,
That's good enough for me. We're gonna keep it informal for now.
they could put it in there. Yeah.
Linda votes yes.
Okay, great. Not a vote. Careful.
Linda supports your idea.
Of course, I like that one. All right, well, we are at time. We did have some open time just for questions and anything else that's on anyone's minds. I will open it up for just a couple minutes. If you have to go, I understand, but anything else that we need to discuss before disconnecting?
I'll take just 30 seconds.
You've never taken 30 seconds in your life on anything.
We had a visitor at the Alamo, a very interesting visitor.
What's the Alamo?
Oh, sorry. We had a visitor at the Ezra and Mary Clark home, the Rock home in Farmington. And so I came over to meet with her, and I expected, some young woman, but it was actually an FLDS woman in full regala. She had the hair, the dress and everything. Her name is Margaret Stewart. And we had a fascinating time discussing the connection between the FLDS and Ezra T. Clark.
Wow.
And it'll blow your mind. It blew my mind several times. I had to take notes. I had to think about it for weeks afterward. But we can talk about that another time.
Now,
I've asked Margaret to come to our, actually present at our next reunion. Long story short, she's told me about the connection between Ezra T and the FLDS. And I said to myself, I started doing the math and I said, there must be hundreds of FLDS that are from Ezra T. Clark. And she said, try thousands.
Wow.
and who's
That's all we have time for.
Tell us a little bit more. There's one more.
That's a teaser. He'll be an agenda item on the April meeting.
Now, what
I'll
does the
give him
initials
plenty of time.
WJ? What do the initials WJ mean?
It's
Oh my
Don't
goodness.
have time.
Okay.
I have a question before you guys finish up. Also, are we going to have an online? Maybe you talked about this, an online reunion in June.
Not if
of
we do
this-
the bus tour.
Not if you what? Do the tour?
Not
Okay.
If we do the bus tour, it's just, that's oversaturation, so.
Okay, I guess we could broadcast parts of that though, if we wanted to,
Yeah.
using a cell phone or something on
Tell them who
Facebook or something.
We
Okay,
intend to
thanks.
invite some of the people from the FLDS church into our reunion. That would be great.
Ooh, that's it.
And
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we wanna engage those thousands of people.
Heck yeah, we
And
do.
one of them will be,
There are at least 2 lines that
Okay.
went there.
he's in prison right now, but he might attend.
One of the FBI's 10 most wanted is an Ezra T. Clark descendant. I'll let you guess.
All right. Well, thank you. We will put this on the agenda. 'Cause this is incredible. So we'll put that on April's agenda. As always, if anyone needs anything, email me or call me. We love you. Thank you for all you do. Thanks for joining today. We'll see you all again soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, how do I do this?